Hey everybody, this is Olga with AskYourSoul.org, and today I wanted to talk about something that has been on my mind nonstop for the past 12 days, which is when this war started. And over these past 2 weeks, I have to say, I feel like I'm still in shock that this is even happening. Especially right now in 2022, you know what I mean? Especially after the World War II. And as a Russian myself, I moved to the United States when I was almost 15 years old. So, I feel like I am Russian and I'm also Jewish and I'm also American. So it's kind of a little bit of all of those, right? But the bottom line is that never ever before have I felt this sense of shame. And it's been kind of like forced upon me almost through this fucked up, horrible situation that we're in right now between Russia and Ukraine. But this is so hard to talk about, honestly, because, here I am, I'm trying to focus on manifesting and thinking positive thoughts and shit like that, and then something like this happens and it's just so close to home, literally and figuratively. And I cannot believe that we're in this situation. Let me just first off tell you that Ukrainians are like the closest neighbor to Russia, right? We're all intermixed. A lot of people have relatives there. A lot of Ukrainians have relatives in Russia and vice versa. And we've always been brotherly nations, right? We've always been kind of like together. Yes, there were some misunderstandings and like crap here and there, but we were always friends, and not just friends, like best friends, I feel like. And most of my friends here in the US are actually from Ukraine or from other republics of the Soviet Union, of the former Soviet Union. But a lot of them are from Ukraine, and I love them to death. And it breaks my heart seeing what's happening and why it's happening. And I've been crying almost nonstop over these past 2 weeks, and I've been really trying to get a hold of myself and to remind myself that by participating in this situation negatively, so to speak, I am only contributing more negativity to it. So I keep trying to figure out what's the best way to go about this. And this is where I guess non-attachment would really help, because it's really hard to be non-attached to something that's so near and dear to your heart and something that you just cannot believe is happening. And because of one fucking person who thinks he's the king of the fucking world, and I think he's completely gone insane, like he's gone rogue, I just feel like he's lost touch with reality, because over the past 20 plus years, all he has been told is what he wants to hear. And he's a dictator. What are you going to do? What can you really expect from that? At this point, it's almost like North Korea type of shit that's happening in Russia, which is insane to me. I thought Russia was a lot more progressive than this. And I mean, it was up until now. And now it's like completely isolated from the world. And economically, I can't even imagine where it's going to be for the next few decades or however long because of the stupid fucking war. Anyways, I don't want to focus too much on the negative aspects of the situation, because obviously there's a lot and it's really hard to like stay away from the news, and I know way too much about it, but I don't want to get into the politics and all that shit. First of all, I want to say that my heart absolutely goes out to all the innocent victims who have been affected by this tragic, completely fucking unnecessary war. And there's only so much I can do to help in any way. By the way, I have compiled a list of trustworthy charity organizations that are helping Ukraine right now. I will definitely post the link below, so please check them out. And if you are able to donate, please do. Whatever you can donate helps. So it would be amazing if you did that. No pressure, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just throwing it out there. Anyways, other than that, I've tried to kind of open people's eyes, especially people who have been completely brainwashed by that dictatorship, who have been living under that dictatorship and I think a lot of Russian people don't fully understand what's really happening, I don't think they can even comprehend it. And plus, you have to realize that right now, there is so much brainwashing and propaganda going on in Russia. It's insane. They're closing all of the independent sources of information. They're closed at this point. Just a few days ago, they have been banned. They just closed Facebook. They're closing Twitter. They're planning on banning YouTube. Not closing, but banning, I guess is what I mean, in Russia. All of the news that you see on TV are controlled by the government, and they're exactly what the government wants you to hear, which is that Russia is like freeing Ukraine from nationalists or whatever the fuck. So people are heavily brainwashed on this. I mean, I was shocked to find that out, honestly. I thought that people knew a lot better than that, but a lot of them apparently don't, and they can't really comprehend what's happening. In fact, you can't even use the word war. You can't use the word war on the news because they wanted to frame it as a military operation or whatever they want to call it. Basically, the Russian government is doing everything it absolutely can to keep the people of Russia in the dark. And as a result, even though a lot of people have protested, a lot of them have been arrested. The last I heard, it was up to 8,000 people that were actually arrested from all the protests. And that's like a huge number if you think about it, because that means a lot more actually protested, even though they didn't have all the sufficient information, but they were like completely against this war. And what sucks also is that so many young Russian boys that are like 18 and over are being sent to this insanity and are dying left and right. Thousands of them are dying for this bullshit too. Besides the poor Ukrainians who I can't even express how sad and sorry I am for the fact that this is happening and they're going through this. But I'm just saying, it's actually both sides. It's not just Russia being the assholes. It's just one fucking person. And I feel like we all know this. But as a result, Russians are being very much discriminated against all over the world. Russian kids are not being allowed to go to colleges in Europe. All these companies that are huge, they're closing their shop in Russia. They're like, okay, fuck you guys. We're out. And yeah, it's probably temporary, but who cares? Like, for now, it's just going to be a completely insane society to live in. And I don't think that's fair either, because most of the people, those who actually understand what's going on, of course they're 100% against this war, but there's literally nothing they can fucking do at this point. You have to understand. When you're living in a complete dictatorship type of a situation, you have to be willing to risk your life, and some people do, but you have to also realize that if you have a family, if you have children to feed, if you have elderly parents to take care of, you can't just leave and get arrested or die for this. You know what I mean? As horrible as it sounds, you don't have much of a fucking choice, to be honest. So Russia is kind of caught in this insanity, and I don't know what's going to happen. It's not going to be good either way. But my point being that both sides are actually suffering because of this one fucked up, idiotic decision of one person who is just power hungry and who has completely gone insane, I think. I truly think that. So, unless there's someone in his closest circle who can fucking put an end to this, I don't know how, I don't know when, or, if somehow the Russian military organizes itself to just stop and cease fire, which is very, very, very hard to imagine and unlikely. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to end. I don't know when it's going to end. I've been praying nonstop. But anyway, I'm sorry to be going into all this in detail. I really didn't want to. I just wanted to kind of tell you a little bit of how I'm seeing the situation, what I feel. I'm just heartbroken over all of this, and I just feel like it's completely insane, unnecessary, unfair to everyone involved, and I just can't wait for this to be over. So I was really hoping that we could all use what we know about manifesting and consciously creating reality to help put an end to this as quickly as possible. This situation once again made me really question the whole topic of manifesting. And I feel like it is important to question everything every now and then, because that's kind of how you learn the truth, quote unquote, the truth. That's how you learn to understand this reality, or your reality. And what I've come to believe is that, like even thinking about other wars that have been going on in the world for a long time and probably still are, it was just never this close to home, again, figuratively and literally, that it made me think about it so much. You know what I mean? It became like such a huge part of my reality. So I bet you there's hundreds of thousands or millions of people around the globe who don't even know that this is happening. Yeah, it's crazy to think about, but that's probably true. Or there's those who have heard about it happening, but to them it's such a minuscule part of their reality that they maybe just had like one or two thoughts about it and then forgot about it. So in their reality, it's not a thing. It's just not a thing. It's a thing in my reality because I'm Russian and this is fucking important to me. And I want to do whatever the fuck I can to put a stop to it. But I'm just saying, it all depends on what you pay attention to. So the main reason I want this audio to get out there is because I want all of us to put a little bit or a lot of effort into energetically making this stop, okay? And if this topic is also important to you, if it's near and dear to your heart, please take a little bit of time to construct an imaginal scene where, here's my imaginal scene. I'm just going to share this with you, and if it resonates, feel free to use it. But if it doesn't, then feel free to construct your own, whatever feels right to you. But mine is, I imagine waking up, looking at my phone, and seeing a message from my mom that says, "Oh my God, I'm so excited. The war is finally officially over. This is all over." That's the scene that I imagine, day and night, especially like as I'm going to sleep or even as I wake up. And I also keep affirming that I'm so happy that there's finally peace between Russia and Ukraine. I'm so happy that Russians and Ukrainians are friends once again, and that the Russians showed the whole world that they support Ukraine and they are, they put an end to this war. Regardless of the fact that they have been under this insane dictatorship, regardless of the fact that they're so heavily monitored and controlled in every possible way, I just really want all of us to focus on what it would feel like for this war to finally be over. What would it feel like to know that there is peace in the world, that justice has been restored, that the only news that we hear are actually good news about the situation, and that it's just such a fucking relief that finally we can live our lives knowing that this peace has been restored, not just between Ukraine and Russia, but all over the world. It's really important that we take care of each other, of the world, of our planet that's really, really suffering too as a result of this. And I just really want us to affirm and focus on that, on the fact that it's all over, peace has been restored, and justice has been restored, and I'm always reminding myself that this too shall pass. Everything passes. It just always does. But I really hope that when it does, there is some hope for things to get better, both in Ukraine and in Russia. Anyways, so thank you so much for listening to this. I really, really hope that you take, a few seconds of your time, even if it's just once, and just affirm this for the sake of peace and love. Not to mention this is very important for the world peace as well, because this could end very badly for everyone. So I don't want to even consider that idea. I don't want to go into it, but I'm just saying, please, let's take time to affirm the best case scenario. Thank you all so much for listening and participating with me in this, in consciously creating a positive reality for, in this insanity that's been happening. I love you all so much, and I really hope that the next time I post a video, it's going to be a really fun, lighthearted, easygoing one that confirms and affirms that peace has been restored and Ukraine is being rebuilt and everything is getting back to quote-unquote normal, finally. Anyways, thank you all so much. Love you. Have a good one. Bye.